I'm going to give a quick introduction to the AOS JupyterHub server, which you need for homework assignment. Before you try this, make sure that you have activated the Whisk VPN connection on your computer. If you don't know what Whisk VPN is, then you may need to go to the Do It page and install it on your computer before doing anything else. You can quickly find it by searching for site:/whisk.edu and Whisk VPN, and it comes up as the first link usually. So you can click on that page, and there's instructions here for downloading and using Whisk VPN. And once you have done that, then you can go ahead and connect via Whisk VPN to activate the virtual private network. Then you should be able to access the JupyterHub server as well. If you ever have any trouble connecting to JupyterHub, there's a good chance that Whisk VPN has disconnected by itself and needs to be restarted. Okay, so to connect to the JupyterHub server, you need to enter https://Jupyter, spelled with a Y, JUPYTER hub.aos.whisk.edu:1225. And you should see this login prompt. One thing I should mention is be sure to use the https://prefix at the beginning of the address. Leave that off. My experience has been that the connection might be rejected. Okay, so this is the prompt you should see when you first access it, and you're going to need to provide your username and password. Now, the username is likely to be your campus net ID if that's the way it was set up for you. I think that when Pete assigns these accounts or creates these accounts on the AOS computers, he tries to use students' net ID wherever possible. The password will either be a temporary password that you were given recently to log in for the first time, or it will be one that you chose yourself sometime previously when you connected with the AOS lab computers. I'm going to go ahead and log in using my own information. And you should see something that looks like this. Well, let me just give a quick overview here. First of all, what you're going to see here on the left is the directory structure that you have in your account on all of the AOS lab computers. And so you've used those computers before. You may already have a bunch of files here. You may have subdirectories and so on. But this is going to be your landing place and where you can see your files and directories. And I've got one set up for AOS 640, for example, and I can change to that. But this is essentially the sidebar here is where you can basically navigate through your file system. You can upload files, you can download files, create folders, and you can open notebooks and other documents. Okay, to actually use the JupyterHub server for exercises, you can either create a new notebook from scratch, in which case you would click on the Python 3 icon right here. There's other ones that they should all work, but I think the Python 3 one has turned out to be the one that I use without any problems, and it should have all the software installed that you normally use. So I want to create a new one, then click on that icon, and it will bring up a new one which is called Untitled that you can create from scratch. Now, in most cases, I will be sending you a pre-existing file that you will upload to your relevant directory over here somewhere, and then click on it to open it, and it should simply open, hopefully in the Python 3 or the pre-configured Python 3 environment, so that there's no issues with access to software and so on. Let me just open one here just to illustrate what one looks like when it's already created. Here's one on the left called Coherent, stuff after that in the name. Double click on that, opens that particular notebook, and you can see all the code that I wrote in connection with that particular program. I'll be spending more time introducing you to Python notebooks if you haven't seen them before, but at least at this point you should know how to get into the JupyterHub server. And I'll mention also, coming back over to the file sidebar, you see the little up arrow right there. That's how you would upload a file that I provide to you in an assignment. Again, you can create new folders. You can navigate down into subdirectories if you want to, and everything should be accessible just like it would be from the regular system prompt at any of the lab computers. One last thing I want to mention is that if you have gotten a temporary password and haven't changed it yet, then you probably want to go back to, I'm going to say, the plus sign here in the upper left corner. You can see it going up in gray there. I guess my cursor doesn't go up. And if you scroll down to Terminal and start a window that is for the terminal, then you'll get a shell prompt for the lab computer, and this is where you could then type PASSWD to enter your current password, the temporary password you were given, and then a temporary one which you'll have to enter twice, which will then permanently change your password for that account and for all of the lab computers. So that's all for this introduction, and there'll be more that I'll talk about in class.